Hey everybody, it is not Friday, it is Thursday, but this is the Ask a Painter live show. I am Nick Slavic, I'm the host of Ask a Painter Live. I'm also the proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company. We're based in Minnesota. The Ask a Painter live show is a live show where I use my over 2 decades of experience painting, running a business, everything that it entails to help bring some perspective to the industry, answer questions, bring some of the brightest minds. I don't have all the answers, but the people who watch this show and are part of this collective do have all the answers, and that's what I like about this. So today is a very special day because I'm painting my own house, and I could not let this opportunity go past without going through the basics of exterior painting. This is a perfect time. This is my own house. The weather's good, it's May in Minnesota, everybody's starting exteriors, so I'm gonna go through the basics of exterior painting. This show, number 207, is going to be part 1, everything with prep. Show number 2 actually gonna be tomorrow. We're going 2 successive days here, is gonna be top coating and then cleaning everything back up again. So we're gonna be basing these 2 shows off this, my standard operating procedure. So today's show here, you can see this is a laminated, here I'll show you, but this is a laminated guide, thick lamination that I send out into the field with my people. And this is an SOP checklist. So again, we have, an 80-page PowerPoint presentation to show you how to do this, paint exteriors. We train that in person, but then we send this out as a reminder. So boa noite, all my Brazilian friends down there, Alex, everybody else, Aaron, Phil, thanks for watching, guys. So today's show, you can see I have it color-coded down here too. Basically, exterior SOP checklist. This yellow part here is all the prep parts of a house. There's 17 steps to prepping a house. There's 4 steps to basically painting it, and then there's 5 steps to cleaning it up and being done. Today's show is going to go through the yellow, and we're going to bring it up to the actual top coat on the house. We're going to do a couple innovative things. We got a super cool new coating. We got a super cool new sprayer. We're going to do some fun stuff. I'm actually going to show you some spraying on the brand new house today, and an interesting thing that I don't see very often, putting Dtm Bonding Primer on brand new tin, gutters, soffit fascia, things like that. So I'm just going to walk through with this for you guys today, and then we can sort of get to it and you can see me spray. So number 1, step number 1 in almost all my SOPs are greeting and calling card. So actually I should show you this. This is a little something I slip in there just for my own good. 3 secrets to a perfect exterior project: common sense, hustle, do each task 100%. That's the best advice condensed down over 2 decades of doing this, if I can give it to somebody who's young here. So thanks everybody for watching. Let's keep going here. We'll go to step number 1, greeting and calling cards. So I give some of my senior people calling cards here like this, business cards. They put a yard sign in the yard. They greet the client and they sort of just walk through the project really quickly if the client's around. There's also a thing that we call a jump sheet, which is basically the work order, which tells people this is the client, this is the house you're going to, the address, this is the phone number in case you need to call the client. But then it lists everything: soffit, fascia, trim, siding, doors, windows, everything. This is the paint, this is the coating, this is the color. It's kind of like the recipe card or the instruction sheet for the job. So that is step number 1. Step number 2 is to create a project plan, and this is something that we started probably a year or so ago. It might be about a year and a half now, but it's basically, I want my people to sit down and basically say, if this is a 70-hour project, show me hour by hour what you're going to do to get this done. Now, I don't want to micromanage to the point where every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes is micromanaged, but when we say, drop cloth the house, or when we say mask off all the windows, or prep, or something like that, you should have an idea on that. And when people go through this exercise, it physically tells them, if this is a, if we work 10-hour days and 2 people, if this is a 3.5-day job for 70 hours, they're going to have to show me in 3.5 days how they're going to get this done, and then I can work with them, stuff like that. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is before pictures. So sorry, I got mirror image, everything's backwards for me here. Before pictures. So I've already done this on the estimate. A lot of the times the production managers have as well, but I want them to get on site and start just taking pictures of everything in case anything's changed around here, just so we have another visual reference. Also, we were on a job site this week where we sent somebody out to do a deck. Tons of paint and old stain on the landscaping and the rocks and the things like that. We definitely document all that stuff just to keep everybody honest with all that stuff. So yeah, before pictures, set up a shop. So here's where I'm going to start walking you around the house and showing you a few things. I'm going to take the SOP, I'm going to take the phone, and I'm going to show you how I set up my shop. All right, so I pick an area close to the job site. Clean off my phone here. Phone's a little blurry. There we go. All right, so I pick an area that's close to the job site. You see Surfer Boy parked his dirt bike there. We have the job site ready to go, and then here's my sort of modified job site. So I have a couple sprayer parts for my cool new Elite 3000 over here. I have my brush tote. I have my prep pouch. I have my little tool bag right there with some simple tools, the power tool pouch, hand maskers, my 4 types of plastic, blue commercial frog tape, almost the only tape we use, and some duct tape. Now, I don't normally use this stuff, this red stuff. I just had this left over from the actual building project, so we're using it. And then I have my big tote. Now, my apprentices normally will end up having, you know, between 3 and 4 or 5 totes, something like that. I carry around a modified one because when I show up on a job site, I don't need all the tools. A lot of the times there's 2 crews on a job site anyway. I need to carry around some personal stuff to get me, you know, in with them and training, but I don't necessarily need to carry every single thing, you know, all the ladders, all the fans, all the, you know, lights and things like that. So I carry around some basic stuff. Nothing in there would surprise you. Got some tape, got some chemicals, you got a spray suit, a circle sander, some denatured alcohol, some putty, just basic stuff in case I'm on a job site and one of my people either run out or don't have it. I just have a little bit of extra there for them. One, you know, I don't even know if it's innovation. It just seems so common sense to me, but is the prep pouch here. So this is actually, I think you can get these for $11 through Amazon. I've got them in white too. A lot of times they run out of the white. I like the white just to keep our uniform standards good. But these are just Dickies little pouches. And in that, I carry basic stuff. We carry a utility knife like this. I carry my Purdy, my foldable. That little guy there. And then I carry an old Purdy paintbrush that's seen its day, and I use this for a cleaning tool. And these will last 8 or 10 years if you do that. But basically, this goes around your waist. I got another tape hook here. So when I'm masking windows, I posted a video earlier today of me masking some windows. You got the hand masker out. I always like to have a separate roll of tape with you as well. I hang that on my belt loop so it's always accessible. I can be up on a ladder working with 2 hands. I can be masking. I can reach down, grab a roll of tape, grab a knife, grab a putty knife, something like that. It's all there, but I get these for all my people. And you have the tools anyway. It's only about $11 investment for something like that, and it's super efficient. One thing that we started doing this year too is using Trimaco floor shell to actually prep the roof in this house. And I'll show you that in a little bit here, but we have a whole bunch of floor shell and we reuse this stuff. It is recyclable, but it's so substantial, it's so thick, you can take it from a job site and reuse it again. And we even reuse it out time to mask gutters and things like that. So we will follow the SOP. So setting up a shop. This is how I set up a shop. Somewhere clean, somewhere out of the way, somewhere dry, somewhere close to the van, somewhere close to the job site. So I have examples of different job sites here for my people. Don't mind me. Okay, so morning crew meeting. Basically what we do is just whoever's in charge of the job site, just brief your people about what we're doing, what the goal is for today, what colors we're going to paint, coatings, things like that. Next step, move the client's personal items. So we want to safeguard everything that they have, grills, benches, you know, tables, things like that. And of course, you know, when you do your own house, I want to protect my own things. So we have a patio here, and I just took everything that was near the house and moved it away from the house. And on a day where it's really still like today, you're not going to worry about getting any overspray on that stuff. But if you do, you put a little plastic, a little bit of canvas over that stuff. All right. Sorry, I will flip the SOP again. Walking and doing this here. So step number 7, cut all the bushes back if we need to for safety issues. No bushes around my brand new house. As you can see, we have final grade, just got done. So we're all set, ready to go. I put in something here which is interesting, is protect our client's landscaping. Oddly enough, when we do get a complaint, it's because we stepped on somebody's hosta, somebody's perennials, something like that, and it doesn't make them very happy. So we really try to safeguard. It's tough when you're on the outside of a house, you have heavy canvas, people are walking around, but we really do try to be careful and thoughtful about people's landscaping, flowers, things like that. Go to the next one. Come on, Facebook Live, catch up. There we go. Okay, remove the house lights. So you can see we got, I took my beautiful black barn lights off of there. And one thing that I like to do is I leave the little knobs, there we go. I leave the little balls on there that actually hold the light on, and then I tape them. I've found, now I prefer to take everything off the house I can, but with those things, I found if you take them off the house, a lot of the times with young folks on my crews, they'll disappear and they're hard to find new ones. So I actually tape them to here so that you always know where they're there. It's hard to misplace a light. It's very, very easy to misplace those two little knurled nuts to put back on there. Got to put the wire nuts back on. I point them up so they don't collect water. If they're loose, you tape them on. So I did that with my 6 lights around the house. We will go to the next one, which is take down the downspouts. And we only do this when we know we're going to paint. It's not going to rain tonight, so I have 4 downspouts in this house. I took them all down. Normally, you would only take downspouts on or off when you're going to paint that particular area. The thinking is, you know, some of these houses we paint are 3 stories high. If you spend all your time taking them down and it's going to rain that night, you still got to put them back up later on. So, flip the SOP. Sorry about all the shakiness. All right, step number 10. This is the good one here. So we start plasticking windows and doors. And I'm going to walk you around the house and show you what I've done here. So now we're leaving doors on tonight. I'm not going to be priming doors tonight. I'm going to prime those first thing tomorrow morning with the bonding primer. So I did minimal prep on these just to keep some overspray off the glass and things like that. I do have the threshold all taped. And again, I'm a simple guy. I use commercial blue frog tape and I use duct tape. Normally we use the gray duct tape, but we have some red duct tape here. I just had that left over from a building project, like I said. So when we actually go to spray the rest of the house, I'm going to take off that weather stripping. We'll take off all the door hardware, take off the doors, set them on racks and everything else. Windows. I posted a video of me masking all these windows. Very, very simple. 3M hand masker, blue commercial frog tape, and I just seal them up tight. Now it's very important, we're going to be painting this house snowbound, Sherwin-Williams snowbound, a beautiful, beautiful kind of soft, dusty white. And we have black windows, so you have to get razor sharp lines. I like frog tape for everything. It just seems to be an awesome performing tape, but if you're going to look for black or white lines on black windows, everything that can help, you need to employ. So that's what we do there for that. So nice tight window prep here. I like to keep it as tight as you can because wind and rain will affect these things. And then, oh yeah, for the, well, that's another step there, but windows and doors. I'll kind of show you. We got the, before I get ahead of myself in the SOP, we got our 16-foot wall of glass masked off to stay beautiful. We have a full light glass door there. Another window. And windows on the back side. So that was pretty easy. Takes about a half an hour aside of a house like this when you have all those windows. Once you get your system down, again, you got your prep pouch on and everything else. It goes super fast. So we'll flip over the SOP and keep trucking here. This is one that almost everybody misses because every house is a little bit different. Plasticking off miscellaneous items. So look no further than the utility side of the house. So right behind this wall here is the utility room. We got an air conditioner that I sealed up. We are not using our air conditioner yet. We have not used it yet. I will be painting that vent back there. I sealed up this outlet. We won't need this outlet on the other side. I masked one on the other side differently so I can get access to it. I masked off the water spigot as well. And I like to get nice clean lines on my air conditioners and stuff. So obviously mask off the air conditioner, but I get nice clean tape lines on the, you know, the service, the electrical service, and then the, you know, the Freon lines and things like that. Now, not a fan of these things. They come in crappy industrial kind of Russian, sort of, you know, gray, this and that. So I just like to paint them. I cover the glass here. This one is a blank right there. If we ever add another meter, it's going to be there. We don't need it to be clear, so I'm going to paint it. Other than that, I just make all this stuff go away. because we have this beautiful patio overlooking this beautiful wilderness here, and the last thing I want is a bunch of industrial gray stuff sort of jumping out at you. So we're going to make all this go away and hide it all. All right, I'll walk around and show you maybe one more miscellaneous thing here. Flip my SOP. All right. So garage door windows, same thing. I treat those like a regular door and window. Simple 12-inch plastic. We've kind of gone to the plastic. The rolls are twice as long as the other stuff, and it seems to hold up to water better in case you have to leave it overnight, you know, dew and stuff like that. All right, and then you can see I have an outlet over here. Yeah, I masked that one. I pulled 12-inch tight like this so I can just open it up, and then when I need this outlet on this side, it's going to be here for me. So yeah, besides that, there's not much other miscellaneous stuff in the house. The next step is to mask off horizontal surfaces. So if this house had dormers or things like that on the roof, we'd get up there and mask off the roof. This house does not, so what we have here is concrete on 3 sides of the house. So I'm going to show you how I mask that off. So I like the durability of the plastic, so we run duct tape. And again, I use this red stuff. It shows up really well, and again, I had some extra here. And duct tape first, because duct tape sticks to concrete and stone and everything else really well. We don't use it for just about anything but stone, concrete, things like that. Then we run our frog tape and our 12-inch plastic, and I try to get continuous sheets. You can see that there, just so the wind doesn't catch it and you don't waste any more tape here. And then I use little bits of this here, little duct tape to seal it all down. This is nice and tight, and then, like you see on this side, past little Surfer Boy's dirt bike, we put a drop cloth over from there to the rest of the concrete just to cover everything up. The reason I step this back, that I don't just throw a drop cloth down, is that the sprayers shoot out sometimes 3,300 PSI, and it'll just pop that drop cloth right from the house, and you get overspray everywhere. So this to me is kind of like belt and suspenders. You got a nice spray area here, then you cover the concrete with a nice heavy piece of canvas. All right, and besides the horizontal surfaces, we're getting there. We're on step 13 here, almost ready to spray. Scraping loose stuff. Now, this is a brand new home, brand new siding. There is nothing to scrape. Sanding bare wood, if it's in the scope of our projects. Again, there's nothing here to sand, so we skip that one. And I'm going to mount this thing so it's not shaky. I don't give everybody a stomach ache watching me here. Just a second. There we go. All right, so I also put in examples of this stuff too, like what we're looking for, like the shadows in the scraping. We want to get rid of that stuff. All right, when we do brush, I have a quick example of how to brush, my system for brushing. Something we're aiming for is 100% coverage. So this is something that takes a trained mind and some experience to get, but this is an example of what 100% coverage is. And we try to teach our people that. Even little pinholes are areas where bugs or water or something can get in. The best paint jobs are just a amalgamous coat all the way across. And that allows these coatings to do their job. So wet edge is another very important thing, even when you're spraying, when you're brushing. This is an example of a wet edge. You can see 2 people working in tandem, moving that brush line down a house like this. I don't cringe when I see people doing it wrong, but I just know what comes with doing this wrong. When you see some of these houses that are 30 feet tall and you see a guy spray a line right down the middle of the house, move his ladder, and then spray the next side, you know what's going to happen when you've done that before. You get this weird flashy lap mark right down the middle of the house, and it doesn't always go away. So we normally overlap onto the trim when we do it that way. The other way that we paint houses are trim first and then siding. This house is going to be one color, so it's about as easy as it gets, and that's why we're kind of using this house as an example. So here we are. We're getting to the priming part of this house. Now, the next 2 steps, priming and caulking, 90% of the time we'll be done priming first, caulking later, because there's usually bare wood. Now, this is a brand new house. All this factory stuff comes pre-primed. So I actually had one of my apprentices go around and caulk all the board and batten in this entire house. And you can see, normally the builder, they will do, you know, just some basic corner boards and things like that. I prefer to have a nice seamless, waterproof, bug-proof, or nothing can burrow in their house. So we actually went around, I shouldn't say we, he did, and basically did every side of every board and batten. He probably lost his fingerprints doing that, but it's a beautiful, beautiful sort of seamless coat like that. We did this before priming because we're not going to prime this house, but normally you never, ever, ever want to prime, or excuse me, caulk over bare wood or bare substrate. You've seen those houses before where they have the zigzag corner boards. You can rip that caulk out like a zipper a lot of the times when they prime over bare wood. So you want to prime that whole substrate first and then you caulk it. You're going to get the best, longest life, the best adhesion out of that caulk. So we're basically to the spot prime thing. I will show you. The next step would be, step 17 would be caulk. That's the last step in prep. We've already done that, so now it's on to priming. And I'm gonna kind of walk you through what we're gonna do here. So, I suffer because I'm a very aesthetic person. I like to sort of have everything looking exactly the way I want to. I believe beautiful things and useful things and well-made things add to your life. And because of that, I'm gonna paint my house white. But the white of the soffit and fascia is not going to match the white that I want my house. So I'm going to prime all the soffit, the fascia, the gutters, the downspouts, the garage door, everything else on here that's metal, brand new metal. And then we're going to go top coat over the whole thing so it's all amalgamous. It's one non-stop continuous color all the way through. Now, for this project, the coating schedule goes like this. Normally, I would use, Sherwin-Williams Duration, Sherwin-Williams Emerald. Those are kind of my go-to. But Sherwin has a really cool bang-up new product called Rain Refresh. It is their most innovative exterior product they've ever launched. It is self-cleaning. So this is going to be an awesome experiment. You can see there's no lack of dirt and grime and all this other stuff out here. This is all going to be prairie wildflowers. We got gravel roads, gravel driveway. We're in the country. This is going to be a true test of this product. So what we're going to do is use Dtm Bonding Primer over here on all the metal surfaces, and you can see I have it all prepped out for you. We're going to let that dry, and then tomorrow I'm going to top coat this whole house, and we're going to go from the gutter all the way down to the foundation, and that's basically what we're going to do. And before I prime, I'm going to show you a couple last things. Now, up above this gutter here, this is that Trimanco floor shell. Love this stuff. I used it in the entire inside of my house. We reused a bunch of this stuff. We cut it into strips and we actually tuck it underneath the shingles and use it like little spray shields. And it's really great when you can do a house like this entire side, this 80-foot side of my house can all be done from the ground. I spent about 14 minutes going from one end of the house to another, tucking the stuff in the shingles over there. And this will allow me to kind of just walk along the ground with an extension and knock it out. The only other thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna wait for tomorrow though, is to prep the foundation and the ground. All that we're gonna do here, because we're gonna be planting prairie and stuff, we're gonna dig out about 2 inches, use some more Trimanco floor shield to make kind of an ad hoc spray shield and move it along with us. It's nothing too innovative, but we will go through that tomorrow because we're gonna be top coating. So, Sherwin-Williams Dtm Bonding Primer. Oh, I'm gonna walk you through scratch tests. I'm gonna show you my cool new sprayer, and then we're gonna spray. So, what I did here, this is a really cool corner of the house because we have a whole bunch of things happening at once. We have gutters, we have downspouts that I took off, we have soffit and fascia, and we also have garage door. Now, if I want this stuff, what I do to this house now is gonna mean either we're gonna have peeling problems, a paint failure for the rest of this life, or it's gonna last forever. So when I see those 3 metal substrates, we got gutters, we got soffit fascia, and we got steel garage door. Just because they're white pre-finished metal doesn't mean they're the same white pre-finished metal. I do scratch test. I love scratch test. It teaches me a lot about paint. What I did is I used Dtm Bonding Primer and Rain Refresh, and I actually did 2 samples on the gutters. I did it on the soffit and fascia, and I did it on the garage door. And I'm gonna put this up here and show you my tests. I actually labeled them for you. So, you guys can see up here, we got Dtm Bonding Primer here, and then we have Rain Refresh right here. I know white on white is a little hard to see. I got the yellow tape here. Dtm Bonding Primer, as predicted, bonds extremely well. And the Rain Refresh does not, as predicted. But the reason I do these scratch tests is because a lot of times when these houses are somewhere between 5 and 20 years old, the tin is actually oxidized enough where you can use like Duration, Emerald, and stuff right over the top of it. And when I've done my scratch test, I've been surprised so many times where Duration, Emerald, and now Rain Refresh, once all the stuff is weathered, it sticks as well as any bonding primer. So for this, I just did, and I thought this was a perfect example of, you know, belt and suspenders, craftspeople doing their homework. It's not good enough to just go to the garage door and do this. You got to go soffit and fascia. That's a different metal. We got, again, we got the gutter. The DTM worked. The Rain Refresh did not, as predicted. Rain Refresh's job is not to bond to stuff. That's why we got DTM. We're going to make a beautiful fresh substrate. What we did too here, same thing. So we have DTM Bonding Primer here, almost the color of the door, and then the Rain Refresh. So DTM is good. A little bit of Rain Refresh comes off. It actually stuck to the garage. Yeah, basically, I'm going to walk you through my spray setup for the bonding primer, and then we're going to get spraying here. All right, let's see if we can fire this guy up here. All right, so as you guys have seen, this is my brand new, beautiful Elite 3000. Almost the entire inside of the Slavic house was painted with this thing. We've done everything. We've done oil primer, we've done top coat, ceiling paint, I did a little bit of wall paint, miscellaneous coatings, things like that. Why is this cool? It's cool because it's different from almost every other sprayer out there. It has permastroke technology. It's not a piston pump. It delivers top performance. It goes from 0 to 3,300 psi. There's 0 deadband. So with a piston, there's a deadband in there, and sometimes it can pulse. This is a continuously running sprayer, and it has no deadband in there. I know technology like this has shown its face in the industry before, and even in the 70s, 80s, things like that, and it had lots of deadband because of the pulses and things like that. This is not that. So no pistons, no packings, no cylinder, and no clutch to wear or burn out. Only 2 parts. It's field serviceable. You can take this whole thing apart. There's one that goes in and one that goes out. It's about the simplest machine you can get. And for anybody who knows me, simplicity is sort of a hallmark of what I do, especially because we have a rigorous apprenticeship program. I need simple things that just work and we don't have to think about them. Shurflo pusher valve, you can release the lower ball valve without using a hammer, as I've seen a lot of guys whack on the lower ends of those things trying to release those little ball valves. Multi-position cart, so I have this one set up in the vertical position right now. You can set it up for the horizontal position, and what's really cool about this is that I have the rigid sort of intake hose right here. You guys saw the flexible one there. That's another version of that. Then you can set it down or up, and then it also has a hopper on top. So you can kind of lay it down, put the hopper on, and it's a really cool addition to that. So if you want to just use, you know, a half gallon or a gallon, it's there for you too. Now, really cool is that lifetime warranty, which is really awesome. Even though this thing continuously runs, you got a lifetime warranty. So again, you guys have seen me use it inside. It's a sweet machine. People say, well, Nick, is it good? And I say, listen, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but there's a difference between a Ryobi or a DeWalt random orbital sander and a Mirka and a Festool. And if you used all those things, they sort of are on this earth to do the same thing, but one is a beautiful, refined, wonderful piece of technology that you know is going to last a lot longer and perform better than the other ones. So yeah, let's do it. I'm going to suit up, we're going to get this thing going, and we'll spray some DTM. Get a good... for price of the sprayer, you'll have to contact Sherwin. Your Sherwin rep or your Sherwin store can get you those pricings there, Cesar. No problem. Oh, Wes Melgren, my Sherwin-Williams rep is here too. So, all right, let me put on some safety gear. And we're going to do this. 30 seconds. Okay, I'll test my spray pattern, then we'll rock and roll. Beautiful. All right, that is steps 1 through 17 for standard prep. And you saw when you get a beautiful piece of technology with a perfect tip, perfect pressure, perfect coating, all dialed in, almost no overspray. It's just a wonderful thing. Oh, I should probably tell you what tip I use too here. So we got an HEA. Let's see if I can clean it off here. So this is one of the most used tips that we have, HEA 311. And you can see there's, you know, an inch or two of overspray up there. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So let me see if we got any. Let's see here. Joe Simon, firefighter, full gear under 1 minute. That would be a fun challenge. I don't think I could get in a spray suit and a respirator in 1 minute, and you guys are full battle rattle with that stuff. So, oh, we got price of the sprayer. Oh, Tommy, thank you so much. Stephen, curious why you're painting brand new soffit fascia gutters. Yes, I just explained it, but I want my whole house the same color, and I don't want that pre-finished white up there, so I'm using Dtm Bonding Primer to give it a stable substrate, and then we're gonna paint everything from the gutters to the foundation all the same color, because I'm a crazy person. You wouldn't have to do that stuff. I do it to myself, but I think it's worth it. So, all right, folks, here's what's gonna happen. This is step 1 of some basic sort of exterior painting stuff. Now, when we get into wood houses, when we get into concrete, stucco, brick, everything else, you adapt this process. Step 1 through 17 is the same for every house, except you sort of tweak it for every substrate. If this was an old historic restoration, the scraping step would take a heck of a lot longer than it would on a brand new house like this. Tomorrow, we're gonna go through part 2 of this, which is top coating and then cleanup and getting everything done. So there's gonna be another Ask a Painter show tomorrow. Thank you so much for Sherwin and Titan. Look forward to an awesome, brand new, innovative, first of its kind product tomorrow from Sherwin as I paint the outside of my own house. So thanks everybody for watching. Oh, Bill Van Price. Oh, Aaron King, Nature Show update. Steven, Elite 3000. Aaron, can we get a nature show update? Absolutely. I'm going to be checking trail cameras this weekend, and there'll be lots of critter pictures. So are you going to shave for summer? Absolutely not. Steven, rock on. Awesome. Alex Marks. I had lunch with Alex today. He's my most senior craftsperson. So thanks a lot, guys. We will talk to you later. Tomorrow, we paint this thing. This is going to be the satisfying part. All the prep is going to be done today.